Now, what I want to do is teach you the first 8 sounds. I forgot to mention, in Sam's case, when Sam needed to learn 2 sounds, then 3 sounds or whatever, when we did that, we also broke the program up in a different way. Before, like when Mary would teach the program in kindergarten or first grade, she'd simply teach all 44 sounds and say, good luck. Sam, in addition to not being able to retain 4 numbers in a row, could not retain 44 sounds. What we did was work out a sequence so that when Sam knew, and by the way, I use Sam as an example because we made a lot of these changes for him, but we would have made them for other students too. When Sam knew, like, say, 2 sounds, he could begin learning to read. When he knew another sound, more words could be put in, and another sound, more words, and so on. So that for any child who needed it, we could reduce the number of sounds that needed to be known to as little as 2, or 3, or 4, or 5, depending on what that child could do. And at the same time, we broke the program into arbitrary units of 8 sounds, so that we would introduce 8 sounds to the class as a whole, because Sam could handle 8 sounds. We'd introduce 8 sounds to the class as a whole, and you only had to break it back up if a child really needed fewer sounds than that. So we'd introduce 8 sounds, and then all the triangle level activities, which is ones I'm going to show you shortly, could be introduced. So the child could do any activity if the child knew 8 sounds. Then the next level would be 16 sounds, and the next level 24, and whatever 24 and 8 is would be after that. You know, you have to guess it with that, probably 32 or something. We'll count up after a while. So what I want to do is teach you the first 8 sounds of the program, and then give you some activities to do. And this is my teaching time for you. I will tell you what they are now. Then I'm going to test you shortly. This is, see now that's the whole picture. It's S. The snake's sound is S. Dog growling goes R. Little boy seeing mouse goes E. Look of surprise goes with the sound O. Breaking sticks, he already knew some of these. Breaking stick, K. Just because it snaps, it goes K. Baby crying is A. Clock ticking. Aren't you impressed with how much you knew already? Miss King's name is I. Now, just as Neil and Tina were going back to the castle to tell the king something about the sounds, there was a plane in the sky there. That plane is flying in, and it's bringing Curly, who's also going to help him on the hunt. And the sound this plane makes is N, as at the end of the word loan, because his plane was only on loan. So it's just the N at the end of that. Are you ready? Oral reading. Some sounds are louder than others. Isn't it nice when you see one you think you know?
E.
Okay, that was, make like that was 8, that was really 9, I think. Now, these are, I forget what they're called. They might be like a 2-sound flip book or something like that. Because see, when you make up a reading program, you have to name all the pieces. When you name the pieces, then you have to remember what you named them. That's the hard part, because lots of things flip. I'm never sure, these may be the 2-sound flip books. They may be teacher 2-sound blending cards or something like that. But these are the cards the teacher uses to teach the whole class collectively how to blend 2 sounds into words. And they're meant at the whole class level. I mean, that's where the, well, I'll give you an example. If you can see this, let me have one up here, let's see. Oh, well, can you see this? If I were in the back, I couldn't. Okay, this is, by the way, the teacher presents this like, say, sounding out ear, ear. So it's not like it's never a testing situation. The whole class is just taught how to blend with this. So I will say for you now, we're sounding out ear, ear. Okay, on the next page, is a picture of something with an ear. So that in the class, what we now talk about is, do you have an ear? What's an ear? You know, this is all the words that children will be introduced to which they will be introduced are in here at the two-sound level. So that all the vocabulary is provided here first. So if you have students who do not know what an ear is or other similar kind of things, depending on the language which they bring with them to school, the vocabulary is taught here. So that children who are asked to read something are not asked to read something they don't know. It's a little bit difficult to read something you don't know. Let's try another one. If you can see this one, this would be, well, I'll do this for you as teachers, because as children, I wouldn't have to have them read it to me, but see if collectively you can figure out what that might be. Collectively you figured that out. Okay, you're ready for the next step. Okay, station 1 is picture packets. And by the way, all of you are going to get triangle level activities. And they're plain triangle. Plain triangle means they're only two-sound words. Happy face triangle, like these that you get at a more advanced level, mean they're also, they are three-sound words. But we're just going to start off with 8 sounds, two-sound words. All the stations have the same triangle level of activity or difficulty. Now, picture packets consist of a packet of pictures and a packet of words. These happen both to be white triangle, like the next ones would be yellow triangle. Yellow triangle is no more or less difficult than white triangle. It's just so you can tell when you've got the right words to go with the right packet. It's a different activity if they aren't colored, because then you just get a set of words and hope for the best. Now what you do is you take out the words and the pictures, and I prefer if you work in groups of 2. If you cannot work in a group of 2, then work in a group of 3. Together read the word and match it to the picture. I had a resource teacher once who told me that, well, it wasn't so much telling me, it was more like she gave me her opinion and I gave her mine, and then we still spoke to each other but not about reading anymore. Because she said reading was reading the words and comprehension came second. I said I took Spanish in high school enough to get by. I can read all kinds of words in Spanish and I haven't got any idea what I'm reading. She said, in essence, well, she didn't really say this. She said to me it was absurd and rude and stuff like that. But in essence, she said that was reading. Okay? No, for me, reading is comprehension. So that at every step for the child, like when they read a word over here, they match it immediately to a picture to demonstrate they've read it and matched it up. So the comprehension starts from the beginning. In this case, the book station, which is station number 2, these are triangle level books, so they must have two-sound words in them. This one, I will read this to you if you can't see it from where you are. It's eat. Okay? So on the next page, what would you expect to see? Somebody eating? Okay, there's a beaver eating a piece of wood. Okay? Now, these books have the words on one page and the picture on the next on purpose. Because if the word eat appeared below the picture of the beaver eating the piece of wood, you could look at the picture of the beaver and the piece of wood and guess what the word said, or you could look at the picture of the beaver and the piece of wood, enjoy that, and skip the words underneath it altogether. What I want is children to have a feeling or a sense of reading. So words on one page, then after you've read it or given it your best shot, then you turn the page and you get evidence that you read. The third station is the stamping station.